What's going on, Sagittarius? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Sag. And it keeps us. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Rowan. I was like, that's what happens when I try to do all fancy there. That was. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm getting it together. I'm happy Harris was brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey because it's General Energy Weekly Spread. Now, see, now my dance move was all contained because, kick myself, Sag. Nature, my problem. But let's talk about you. Because with this weekly spread, whenever you have to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take it resonates with you. You can leave all the whatever the hell that was with me, and never force a reading on a situation. Okay. So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Oh, Sagittarius, I think you got to sneeze. Hold on. All right, Sag, we're back, and your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. There's great energy all around here, Sagittarius. So I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I include links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. Thank you. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching as well, so definitely check that out, Sag. Very intuitive groups. I think you really enjoy them. But let's talk about your first card here, which is the 7th card of Virgos, which is the fine print card. And with this card is a card of detail, look closer, inspection, research, be careful, in-depth, pay attention, don't assume, thorough, deep dive, hidden information, double check, and read between the lines. And the energy that's coming through here, Sagittarius, is the don't assume. And I feel like with this, for some, I almost feel like that this energy, and hear me out, Sagittarius, where you are a very wise sign, I feel like that there's an energy of not assuming that, or just like don't assume that others don't know as much as you do, or maybe this might even be how we might be feeling, Sagittarius. But there's either way there's this energy of, it's like we may be underestimating or even overestimating something. And I'm not trying to, I don't want to be vague, but it's, I feel like there's this energy of being receptive, or like it's like really kind of like we may expect something to go a certain way, but it's just like, you know what, let's see. And I don't even feel like it's nothing where it's like we're set. That's very curious energy that's coming through here, Sag. Yeah, just if we're around that energy, if we're finding ourselves in that energy, then I feel like that's just, it is something to kind of get eyes on there. But it's almost like I'm being kind of pulled back to like a situation. It's like we're and we're expecting something to go one way when it could be going a different way. And I almost feel that, but where we're at either way, it feels like it's like the extremes here. And I feel like there needs to be a more kind of tempered approach, where it's like, it's not that we're not, let's say if like we're super excited for a situation but then we end up being really disappointed. It's not to say that we never get excited again, but it's just like, it's more so just like a going, like more so like a going with the flow type of energy. Maybe we're trying to almost like control a situation, where it's like we want the outcome to be this kind of way that has to follow these sort of guidelines, or like if doesn't happen or this happened, almost even like a flexibility maybe for some that's needing to be put here. Just thinking with like Virgo energy. Virgo can be very detail oriented, very much and it's not that they're a rigid sign, but there is that sense of needing order in order to proceed. But let's get some tarot on this, Sag. See what else, see what that's about. Thank you. Let's see what we got here, Sag. Interesting. Okay. So you have the Hanged Man, the Chariot, the Queen of Swords, and then the Ten of Swords here, Sag. And that's interesting. Because I feel like with the Hanged Man being here, I feel like this Hanged Man Chariot combo, I feel like for some there's a way that we've been operating, or that we've been kind of going about things for some, or maybe again this could be someone that we may be dealing with, but there's this idea of, I feel like it's like changing up how we've been going about things. There needs to be a new, I just feel like it's really with the Queen of Swords here, kind of like opening ourselves up to this new, to more perspectives here, or something along those lines. Because I feel that if we're not being mindful of that, then it could not necessarily lead to a place of, because the Ten of Swords can be pretty intense, and not necessarily lead to like our downfall, like to ruin or anything. But I feel that it does restrict us in some type of sense, because I feel that when we assume something, there's this knowledge here that it's, and I might need to pull a little with the Queen of Swords, but it's like there's this knowledge that if we assume something, then we don't give it that opportunity. It kind of locks things in a way that I feel like it takes away from your flexibility, or something along those lines there, Sag. Let me get a little bit more with the Queen of Swords. Because the Queen of Swords is Libra energy, and this could be, that's thinking about relationships and like, let's see what else we got here. Interesting. Okay, so you have the Queen of Swords is clarified by the Seven of Wands and then the Ace of Swords. And there's this energy of, it's like there's this idea that it gives me almost like a superiority type of energy, where it's just like we're kind of sitting on high here on the sword. And again, this doesn't have to be you, Sagittarius. This might be an energy that we might be dealing with, and it's giving this sense of that if we're going against that idea, then there's this criticism that comes in here. And if we're dealing with an energy like that, Sagittarius, where we may not, if we do, especially if we're not resonating with that, if we're sticking around in this and not keeping that energy moving, learning from this stuff and changing these feelings, at some point we do need to take a look at ourselves and not assume that it's just the person that's keeping us. This is just an example. That's excuse me, it's not the person's fault that this thing is going down. It's that if we don't move, if we choose to stay in that energy and not, get that chariot moving, then at some point we do need to take responsibility as well. It's in Sagittarius, you're in a judgment free zone. And this is very interesting, Sagittarius. I'm almost even kind of getting to with this that maybe for some there is this energy of, I'm almost even getting like a self-esteem here thing too, where it's like, don't assume that you can't bring like, it's like even like bringing your ideas to fruition. And we're gonna take another. This is another energy coming through, that maybe the seed was planted that we can't do this, or that you're not this kind of skill, you're not that kind of skill, and then it's led us to where we stop moving. We really started to believe those ideas, and they did lead us to this place of stagnancy. And but I feel like if that's something that may be resonating with you, Sag, is not assuming that you can't do these things, or that it's all right, Sag. I think I'm gonna move out of that, but yeah, something to think about there. Let's get I hope that made sense. Let's get another one on the mix. Interesting. Okay, I see you. Yeah, maybe. Because you got the first card of Scorpios here, which is Crystal Ball card. And with this card, this is a card of intuition, premonition, seeing clearly, discernment, perception, sixth sense, instinct, divination, future planning, ESP, past, present, future, gut reaction, and inner knowing. An energy that's coming through here is the premonition, Sagittarius, and I'm almost getting like that if you've been getting these images or these feelings, or something, that this could be maybe in a dream, or this could be, I don't know, you might just be noticing that, like, maybe you're hearing more about, let's say for example, if we're talking about like hmm so if we're talking about, like, let's say for like cheaters, for example, it's like maybe we've noticed like we're seeing like stuff coming up in our YouTube feeds more, whatever you just happen to pull up, or seeing some, like, I don't know, like just like little indicators that we're dismissing them, but it's, I don't know, it's like we see these things for some. For some, I feel that it's not assuming that your premonitions are incorrect, but I will say that there is a our thoughts are very powerful, Sagittarius, and you being a wise, being wise, but when I was talking about your energy, like Jupiter energy, it's very expansive about higher learning. It's but you have to be careful about how much energy that you're putting into that, and how we're manifesting those things. Because like, where for the cheater aspect, for example, it's not that I'm saying that we could manifest that, but if we stay in that thought process all the time, then that dissonance comes in, and we want to get eyes on that, and try to keep that moving, because that's and listen, Sag, this is not me, if we're in a relationship, this is not me saying that, but it is, I'm getting very strongly here, just being mindful of what you think that you can and cannot manifest, is what's going through, kind of coming down here, is was let's get some tarot on this. All right, Sag. Let's see what we got here. There you are. I see you, because you have the art card, or the temperance card, the Hierophant, the Eon, the Four of Swords, and then the Nine of Disc. And I mean, we were talking about just being mindful what you manifest. You're creating art here, Sagittarius, and yours is a sign where Jupiter is a very abundant sign. Jupiter does not discriminate where your energies are at. If we're in a low vibration, okay, Jupiter's like, here you go. But and that's where the perspectives come in. If we're not feeling that, how do we bring this stuff to a close here? But I almost feel like with this Eon card, because this is Pluto energy, and I almost feel like that is for some, it's like reflecting on how things have closed off in the past. Seeing if we're noticing a trend for stuff. Like especially if we've been in this state of, I don't know, like it's not necessarily doubt, but there's this assumption here. Maybe we haven't been able maybe to able to kind of quiet the mind. I'm kind of feeling with the Four of Swords here, and it's like with the Nine of Disc. I feel like this, if we get in this routine of that, like, it's I'm just gonna throw things off here. I think I'm gonna get a little, because I'm trying to figure out what the Hierophant is doing with here. There's a lesson here that's coming through with the Hierophant. Let me get a little bit more with him, because the Hierophant is like a card of like, there's a connection need to be made, some divine wisdom kind of coming from there. There's a thank you. Okay, let's see what's going on with this Hierophant. So the Hierophant is clarified by the the Knight of Swords, and he's the King of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. When you do this reflecting, Sagittarius, just kind of thinking about, especially if we've been, the energy. I feel like it's being mindful of how we proceed with the wisdom that we've gained. It's like how we take actions in the future, because the Knight of Wands, or the Knight of Swords in this deck, where he is a very wise figure. Sometimes he can kind of, you see, he's moving fast. He's really breezing past this stuff here. And I feel like for some, it's just like being mindful of, ignoring like lessons, or just patterns, something along those lines here, Sagittarius. That's But I'm also kind of getting to. I'm gonna move. I think I'm gonna move away from that, because I feel another thing too is there's a need to move towards something. There's a need to. Because I almost feel that there's been this energy almost with the Hierophant of maybe taking things for some, like a little too slow. We've been getting these inspiration, not too slow, but it's that maybe things have been, we've had this energy, but maybe it's like it's going slower than we want, because there's this sense of doubt. There's this excuse me, very fascinating reading, Sagittarius. But I think I'm gonna more. Yeah, I think I am gonna move on from that. There's a. Yeah, I hope that this yeah, makes sense, Sag. But let's get your excuse me. Let's get your last card. Oh, oh wow. Okay, and you got a lot to say about that, Sag. My bad. Because you got the ninth card of You, which is the ballet shoes card. And with this card, this is a card of stamina, endurance, talent, repetition, effort required, on your toes, honing a skill, laser focus, poison grace, tread lightly, balancing act, pursuit of arts, and expertise. Yeah. So the energy that's coming through here, Sagittarius, are they on your toes and the pursuit of arts? And now I'm kind of getting back to like where I think I was trying to get earlier, where it's like there's an energy for some that, let's say if we are pursuing some sort of goal, dream, whatever that's looking like, there's a need, I feel like, to not be, or try not to be rigid in how we're going about this. There's going to need to be a flexibility that's going to need to be have some in which, I mean, Sagittarius, I don't know if I've told you, but you're the mutable fire sign, and that's a really cool place to be. I feel like for fire to just be, where Aries is kind of like they bring the fire, they kind of start things off. Leo, excuse me, maintains it, kind of keeps it fixed, keeps it home, but Sagittarius can roam free with it and grow from it and expand from it. But I feel there is a need to not to allow a more kind of intuitive energy to come through, to really sort of feel where things are trying to maybe guide you here. Maybe these premonitions that we're getting, like dreams, or maybe something in your daydreams even, or in like just random flashes of inspirations, or something is trying to get you to this place of working towards your Empress energy, Venus and Virgo here. But that's interesting, Sagittarius. Let's get some tarot on this. Alright, Sagittarius, what's going on here? Alright, we're heating up because you have the Lust card, Leo here, and then, which is the Strength card, and then you have the Three of Cups, the Three of Wands, and then the Five of Disc here. And I feel like with this, I feel like for some, because Leo is very, and this, considering that Venus is in Leo, the Sun's in Leo, that's forming trines with your sign, and trines are very beneficial energy. They're the most fortunate aspects. They really kind of clear obstacles out of your way, Sag. But especially, if we're trying to pursue something, and not just it doesn't have to just be in the arts. This can be whatever it is that just fills you with life, fills you with invigorates you in things along those lines. Three of Cups, I mean abundance. Three of Wands, what do you find what really speaks to you? What. But I do feel this, with the Five of Disc being here, this sense of worry that, we're that either, but maybe with this pursuit, it's like, we're trying to, let's say if this is just like maybe you want to become a ballerina there, Sagittarius, which I think that's dope. It's like how we're going to maybe get to this school, or what does that look like, how we're going to make a career of this thing, and then it's where those are genuine doubts, but they are great questions. And when we really kind of sit with those and really ask ourselves, what do we, okay, this is, because that's the nice thing about these, that's the whole point of the journey, is to, what ways can we, what obstacles help us keep this chariot moving? Because if everything was all fine and dandy, then we wouldn't be moving. We would just stay there because everything's great. Why move? There's that would be silly. But it's the challenges I feel that really pushes, the premonitions, the things that, like, something that's indicating, growth and expansion. It's really kind of, I almost feel it's like kind of flipping the again, these questions on their head a little bit, as opposed to like, oh, how am I gonna possibly do this? It's like, how am I gonna possibly do this? Even just like the slightest inflection change, I feel, could get your mind in a more kind of flexible place, and a more kind of relaxed, like, okay, I could do this, or I could try that, or and I find that things do just they open up in a really cool way if we allow them to, Sagittarius. But let's get a little bit more on this. All right, last little bit, Sag, and look at that. We've got the Prince of Wands, and then the Ten of Cups here, and then let's switch back over, because I feel that with the let's talk about the Ten of Cups first. I'm getting this energy of, I feel like for some, just considering that the Five of Discs popped up there too, that there's this energy of thinking that we maybe can't get to this place of being fully fulfilled. There's always going to be this wanting for more, this wanting, never. And the thing with the Ten of Cups and like the Ten of Pentacles is that, yeah, we may never be truly fulfilled on this journey. It may take a couple rounds. These lifespans are a little they could be longer, but I do feel that there's, I almost am getting with the Prince of Wands this sense of bravery that because he's of the princes in this deck. He's the one with his eyes open, and I feel like it's really kind of facing that facing that, and even knowing this stuff is kind of like facing that life head on. There are going to be these challenges. There are going to be all these things that, but it's like almost even trying to being, we're just, because when we put ourselves in that sense of doubt and assume that we can't accomplish those things, again, that thought is powerful. I mean, you got the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. You put that thought in there, then that's going to affect your energy, because why put into something that I'm going to fail at? That would be silly. But no, that would actually be amazing, because then if you fail, and it's just like, what did you learn from it? Okay, now I can tweak it this way. Think on your toes, and then go pursue the arts a different way. It's never quite as structured as it could be, but that's what makes it enjoyable. It adds that little messiness in there, Sagittarius, where it can be annoying, but it is. It's fun too, and it. I'm gonna leave that there, Sag. Yeah, I'm not. Very interesting energy that was coming through there, and I hope that made sense. We were all over the place, but if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, and share the Sagittarius if you know someone who's been. And I'm not, with the assumptions. I hope you know that it wasn't no coming at you, but it was, because I actually just had someone tell me the other day that oh, I forgot we were talking. Oh man, I wish I remember what we were talking about. But I had said something where I was just like, kind of like, I know, and it was not necessarily dismissive, but they had made a point to say, it's like, one of the most dangerous things to say, or most sentences to say, is I know. And I was just like, what do you mean? Because it's just like, it kind of limits the. Oh, we were talking about breath work, is what it was, and I was just like, yeah, I already know about that, but it's just like, it's not cutting. It's still allowing that different. it's like not assuming that the way that I was doing something was like the only way. And I was just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, again, no, that is a good place to be mindful. It's a little aggressive, Virgo. But I got the point that they were making. Because, yeah, and that's kind of what it felt like, that energy that was coming through there. So I wish I would have thought of that example sooner, because hopefully everyone stayed with me. But, and let them know that too, Sag, and then did I skip a step? Yeah, we're sharing it. That's fine. Share it. If I did skip the sharing, share it again. And then subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each week. And then lastly, check your sun, your moon, oh, I'm a hot mess right now. I'm still like in your reading. Like, that was very interesting. But you look at you having a hot ticket to come over to my other channel. Not that you need it, but if you have any Cancer in your placement, sun, moon, rising, come on over to the Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans and geek out with the Chariot comes out. I always have to restrain myself a little bit when the Chariot does come out. Especially like when it comes out for Cancer, we're losing it. But like everyone else is just like, they're like, why are you cheering for Cancer? It's fine. My sun signs in Cancer. And all that housekeeping, it's down in the description box below. Oh, maybe I'll put my chart down. Oh, look at you. I might put my chart down there, Sag. But let me get you some prize cards here so I can get you out of here. That's fascinating. But so is this, because you got the Knight of Cups here, Sag. And with this energy, I do feel with this energy again, just with like it's really coming through with the pursuing of the arch, because speaking about talking about Cancer, here's this crab here is supposed to represent the king of the Knight of Cups. He's the King of Cups, represents the strength of the ocean, or represents the ocean, and this peacock down here is the brilliance of the ocean. I feel like it's when those pursuit is expressed, and the crab represents the strength it is, or the strength it takes to achieve these feelings of the heart. It's like it's really almost like surrendering yourself to almost to like the universe in a sense. That's an interesting thing for the night to come through. But as far as like pursuing these things, not assuming that your dreams and things are only as limited as you allow them to be. You know what I mean? And I know that there is a certain sense of like there's environments that come through. There's all sorts of things, but when we really really want something, Sagittarius, we can switch this thing up there. It's powerful. And let's get your oracle card. Thank you. So you got the Equinox card in reverse here, Sag. And with this, and that's interesting. So you got this heart and this feather that's on here. And the Knight of Cups and the the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords are they're wise in very different ways. There's this, the swords is emotional, or excuse me, the swords is an intellectual wisdom, the cups emotional wisdom. And I do feel like these two energies are out of whack. There's something here that it's a thought process or a feeling or something that is just like that's keeping us from really making the most of this. Like, and I don't know, it's like at one moment we're good, and then at the other minute it's more so as opposed to that gentle kind of waxing and waning. It does feel a little more extreme, maybe, in how this might be coming. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, Sagittarius. I wish I had more words for this, but I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there, Sag. With these any sort of like premonitions or and I almost feel like just being just like kind of keeping, and not that you aren't already an very open sign, Sagittarius, but to be open to, I don't know, just like new ways of maybe thinking, or new ways of it's interesting. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.